So lately, I've been seeing a lot of fans talking about Madrimov would get knocked out by certain fighters, and I recently heard people say Boots Ennis would actually get knock out Madrimov. Other guys they said that Madrimov would get knocked out by, and they don't look at him as a top 154 now. For some reason, they thought he won the fight. Now he's not a top 154, but Osleys Iglesias was actually someone in 2018 that actually fought Madrimov, and he actually lost that fight to Madrimov. And I know a lot of people say Osleys Iglesias is a very good fighter. He is a good fighter, but what people got to understand is Madrimov is a very great fighter, and he's a guy who's been at 165. Madrimov was at 165 8 years ago. When Canelo was at 154, Madrimov was already at super middleweight fighting guys like Iglesias, and he beat this guy. And Crawford basically fought a guy who was a super middleweight already. And a lot of fans and boxing experts have not pointed this out because they don't want to tell the truth about Crawford basically fighting the guy. Crawford was in a Canelo versus Floyd Mayweather situation where Floyd was fighting Canelo at the same weight, but those guys were Canelo was a 170 pounder in the ring with a guy like uh, Mayweather. And I've been telling people a long time that Canelo is basically fighting his walking around weight right now. And I know a lot of people are high up on Iglesias. This is not to discredit him as a good fighter. I think he's a very great fighter. Um, well, a good fighter. I think he's going to be very great in the next couple of years. He's going to have a lot of chances to prove himself. But Madrimov is way better than what people are giving him credit for. I don't know if people realize that Madrimov is not a bum, and I'm not saying this because he beat Osleys Iglesias in a amateur fight. I'm saying this because Madrimov has fought everybody. He's fought at 165, super middleweight. People said that Crawford would be too small at super middleweight. He won't be able to handle Canelo. How can he not handle Canelo when he's already fighting guys that's beat guys like Iglesias at 165? I don't understand the business of boxing right now. It's turning into sabotage. The fans are not educated about a lot of things. They're saying a lot of stuff that I can basically pick at for years to come, and I can make content. Like the fans make it easy to make content. You know what I'm saying? They say a lot of people are weight bullies. Devin Haney's a weight bully. Now, if Devin Haney came down from 165 to 154, or he came down from 154 to 140, people will say he's a weight bully. But they don't understand that guys are fighting at certain weights, and when you turn pro, a lot of people do cut weight. Just how the weigh-ins are, it gives you an opportunity to recover. I mean, that happens. If you can get down to that weight, it's always been that's the weight you're at. And a lot of people throw in these rehydration clauses and everything else because they know a lot of guys can actually make weight at a certain weight. And you realize that Crawford didn't have a rehydration clause. People like Canelo have had rehydration clauses when they moved up in weight. So this just goes to show you this is a huge opportunity for a guy like Crawford because Madrimov is a huge 154 pounder. He's probably the biggest 154 pounder we have. Uh, Besides a couple of other guys who I don't want to name right now. But for people to actually not look at this situation and say, well, Madrimov is a super middleweight or he looks like one, they talking about Madrimov like he's a small 154 or something. Then they acting like he hasn't fought anybody because he has 10 fights. So let's see how much these 10 fights actually matter when they realize that he's been beating guys like Iglesias and uh, also, he's a guy who's been walking around at 168 since 2016. But I'm gonna definitely do another video about just his weight. But I just wanted to show people that I know a lot of people are high up on Laces and Glaces. Well, you need to be high up on Madrimov and the guy who just beat him, Terrence Crawford, who came up from 135. In 2018, 2016, these guys were like, I'll just put it up in the next video that I do, but it's going to show everything I'm talking about. Um, but if people want to actually know about boxing, they're gonna find out on this channel. If they don't, then they don't. But what I've kind of found is people don't want to. People want to report boxing like Like they report boxing, but they're really fans of boxing. Just be a fan, man. Don't try to jump in and try to bring up narratives about weight and everything else because I'm gonna shut that down. After I get done talking about this, I won't hear about weight ever again. But that's all I got. Like and subscribe.